really, I want you to see your hand, dude. Anyway, so my kind of like food for thought is, did you know it's illegal for poor people to make money in America? In order to be a limited partner to VC, in order to make 25% a year, in order to invest in a REIT, the real estate vehicle, you got to be an accredited investor, and that means you're making like $200,000 or $300,000 a year. You've already got $1 million in assets, and then you can make 20% on your money. But if you're poor, you can buy a scratcher or a lottery ticket, or just kind of like get by. It's messed up. So Giddy is solving that. We are the easiest way for people to beat inflation. Native mobile, iOS and Android, Giddy.co. So yeah, Ethan Parker from Giddy.
Awesome. Hi, I'm Nikki Sanders, and I'm the head of blockchain engineering at TaxBit. I've been in the crypto space since about 2015 on the engineering side, and I have a back-end engineering background. My little food for thought morning thing is, especially being at TaxBit for about a year now, is the IRS is paying attention, and if you are not reporting things on your taxes, they're going to be coming in hard, and there is no 7-year limit on being audited on something that you didn't report. So I know I've gone back and made some amendments, and it's been really interesting seeing the technology that they're using now to pay attention, but it's also bringing a lot of legitimacy to the space, and they're really trying to do it in a fair way. So it's an interesting ecosystem that's changing right now and becoming really legitimized, but the regulation's coming, and everyone just kind of needs to pay attention and just be a little careful.
Hey guys, Dan Young. Some of you guys know me for the last 30 years. I started a company called PC Laptops, Zydex, Ugly Unicorn Fund. I've been on Intel as a board of advisors for 15 years. Back in 2014, I built the largest Bitcoin mining facility in Utah. Done a lot of stuff with crypto. But the biggest thing is security in DeFi and all blockchain and taxes. I've been through 3 federal digital wallet audits. I was one of the first 20,000 investors in Coinbase back in the day, and 2 months of audit. So lots of pain. So definitely recommend good tax reporting on your crypto. But I'm also, one of the big things I want to talk about today, this big one, is security. So we have these well groups of friends that have, this group has, each person has more than 100 million in crypto. And this last 12 months, over $300 million has been hacked. These are advanced people. A lot of these friends have entered crypto, Bitcoin under less than $1. But I'm going to teach you that. So when I talk about that, get your phones out and take note.
Thank you. This panel is awesome. We have some of the most high-powered luminaries in the entire valley here, and so I'm honored to be here because I'm a relative nobody to this entire group. A little bit about me: my name is Jordan Volz. I'm a certified public accountant, certified valuation analyst, a master analyst in financial forensics. I spent the bulk of my career doing kind of TradFi stuff. So came up in Fidelity Investments doing portfolio advisory work as a senior trader, a supervisory principal over the trading team, and then did valuation work for a little over 300 companies over the last 6-7 years before starting PiFi. So I'm a co-founder of PiFi. We are building something we call the Upside DAO. The Upside DAO is a platform that will allow traditional venture-backed companies to build and engage with their community in the Web3 way by sharing actual ownership and equity at scale to their community directly. We feel very bullish on the paradigm that Web3 has introduced into the world, and so we're really excited to start kind of sharing a slice of the pie with everybody.
Testing, all right. I'm David Wiley. I'm from Useless Crypto. The name is ironic, by the way. We're trying to be as useful as possible. The Gen Z kids love it, so let's just roll with it. So I've been in software engineering now for more than a decade for Web 2 related stuff. Got into crypto pretty hard about a year ago, and so I've worked for, you may have heard of SafeMoon as a community manager for them. That's where I kind of cut my teeth on DeFi, and then worked with Useless to help build the All for One app, which is similar to some other, the idea of trying to create accessibility into decentralized finance. I think it's a shared vision and love that a lot of people here have. And so the thing that I really care about, the thing that I'm really passionate about is the decentralization aspect of things. And so things that we've built are a decentralized ranking system that we've built for token promotion. Also, we've built a decentralized exchange network for DEX rate shopping. And so our app, the idea behind it is, again, access to the tens of thousands of tokens and liquidity pairings that exist out there on decentralized exchanges. We want to stop this march towards centralization that we're seeing that creates a lot of risk in this space. And so you've heard the term not your keys, not your crypto. It's pretty common in this space. And so we're really fierce about that. Being a non-custodial, multi-chain, hierarchical deterministic wallet, we care about the technology, we care about the people involved in the space and making sure that their assets are their assets and you're not going through these centralized processes. So it's a great honor to be here amongst other great minds. You may also know me as Kark online. So anyway, pleasure to be here.
Just dox yourself, man. They keep that anonymous.
I'm already done, so.
Hi, I'm Sarah Wiley. I am the VP of Product at High Top.
No relation, by the way.
I know, spelled completely differently, but pleasure to be here and real honor to be a part of this group. So my background is in engineering as well. I've spent the bulk of my career at Intuit building accounting software, very traditional accounting software. So the shift to DeFi, crypto, new technology is really exciting to be a part of and to see the analogies played out. And so I guess I would say, as far as kind of warning or kind of perspective, we hear a lot of and we certainly are believers in this technology and in its ability to affect major change around the world and upset systems and just provide whole new access and all of that. However, human nature doesn't change. So, the problems that we think this can address from traditional finance systems may very well replicate themselves in new systems. The opportunity is to leverage the idealistic values that often come along with the early movements and to build as much of that into the technology as possible. And we're really excited to kind of lean into that, but we're also at High Top trying to be that bridge, to meet people where they are and to be in a place where we can promote the potential and the values that come along with new technology, but also lean into where people are comfortable and just create that bridge along with many other spheres.
This is kind of like the DeFi brain trust of Utah right here. So let's go to the most obvious question is like, I want maybe two explanations from two of you. What is DeFi? When did it happen? We all know Bitcoin, right? 2009. Was that DeFi? Okay, so we're gonna have Nikki. Nikki's gonna be one to explain, and then who else wants to take a stab at it? Well, actually, let's just see how Nikki does. We might not need to do anything else.
Thanks, Ethan. We've been on panels before. So DeFi, obviously, decentralized finance. I've been told that to aim this at a non-technical audience that may not understand. So if we can go super high level, then go deeper if we need to. But really, it's giving access to traditional financial systems and transaction types that, as Ethan was saying before, are just kind of blocked from the mass population. When you have a lot of money, you can lend out your funds and get great interest rates on lending. That's not really accessible to us. What is a savings account right now? It's less than 1%, much less than 1%. And that doesn't really help you. That doesn't beat inflation. You're actually losing money doing that. DeFi gives you access to lend your assets in a way that is in traditional finance only reserved for the wealthy. So it's really just democratizing access to traditional financial systems. And then it gives the little benefit of that it's completely decentralized. There's no trusted third party involved. There's no bank. It's not hidden behind a black box where you don't know what's going on. All the transactions are on chain. It's completely public. You can see what's going on. You can see all the token movements. You can see what other people are doing, which when I've talked to some people in more traditional financial systems, that's a big downside for them because they don't want it to be public. They don't want people to see where their money's going. So really it boils down to it's a decentralized system that democratizes access to capital.
You can answer maybe the history of DeFi. When did it come? How big is it now? What's going to happen in the next 5 years?
And I want to, how many accounting degrees do we have up here? 3? What? You worked into it, but okay.
Computer science.
Anyway, so yeah, my BS is in accounting too, so funny stuff. Crypto's real. So a little bit, tiny bit of history about what DeFi. So 09, Bitcoin came out. You can buy it, you can sell it. Price goes up, price goes down, but it doesn't like do anything. It's not a platform for building stuff. 2015, Ethereum came out. Shares a lot in common with Bitcoin because it's a cryptocurrency, but it was a platform to actually build stuff. And people didn't even know it existed in 2015 because it was brand new, except for maybe it was already coding in it. But most people had no idea. And then people took advantage of the ability to build apps on top of crypto in 2017, and just everybody made their own cryptocurrency and like did pump and dumps. So the SEC came down and said, Securities and Exchange Commission. They came down and said like, nope, no pump and dump crypto stuff, no ICOs, that's not cool. And as we all know, Bitcoin price crashed along with everything else. So people were like, yeah, crypto's dumb, like it doesn't mean anything. But what they didn't realize is that in that bear market, people were building, happened before, happening now, people were actually building stuff. And so like 2020, 2021, people started being like, oh hey, what's Uniswap? What's PancakeSwap? There's these decentralized exchanges where people are exchanging currencies one for another. And like, okay, so maybe crypto can actually have like a purpose and do something. Like maybe blockchain has a use. So that's really what DeFi is, decentralized finance. It's like the software applications on top of just a cryptocurrency. That's kind of how I would put it. I guess a little bit of use, a little bit of history. So that brings us to today.
Wonderful. Does anyone have anything to add to that?
Yeah, I'll add something. So I think one of the key innovations in decentralized finance is what you mentioned, like the Uniswap, the PancakeSwap piece, right? These are automated market maker models. And so what we traditionally had with typical markets is you have an order book model, where you have buy orders and you have sell orders, and those are set up in advance by people willing to on-ramp or offload their assets, right? Well, with an automated market maker model, you have a smart contract that creates what's called a liquidity pool, and it's almost like a vending machine. You go to this liquidity pool and you say, I want to take, this Ethereum and I want to swap it out for Shiba Inu, and even if there's not an active buy or sell order, you interact with that liquidity pool and you are able to purchase your Shiba Inu with your Ethereum. Or you can come to the vending machine again, you can be like, hey, I want Shiba Inu. I want some Ethereum for this. And you interact with the liquidity pool and you get your Ethereum back, right? From buys and sells. And this drastically changed how people can trade. Right now, around 7% of all crypto trading volume is done in a decentralized manner. And so that's relatively low, but it's increasing. And we're going to see that continue to increase. And I think one of the things that was asked here is where do we see this in the next 5 years? Is I think we can see a massive increase in trading volume that's happening on decentralized pairings. And these pairings are done in a way where you don't have to have a lot of volume. So imagine if you have a token where maybe you have 10 transactions a day against it. Well, with a regular traditional order book model, that's not counting. I mean, you have to have all of these buy orders and sell orders set up. You have to have a lot of volume. But this really allows people to have tokens with very, very low volume, and they interact with this liquidity pool, and you can have a viable token with very low volume. And so this means that in terms of an emerging market, it's just an explosive amount of growth. If you can build a token that has real consumable utility and has real purpose, even if you don't have a lot of volume, you can trade on the market in a decentralized fashion.
Talk about decentralization, but ultimately it's going to go back to centralization hybrid. I'm going to tell you why. So first here, let's just take a poll. Who here is doing any sort of crypto engagement using an exchange like Crypto.com or Coinbase? Just raise your hand. Now, who here uses a hot wallet like MetaMask? Something to that effect. Ooh, cool. Who here uses a hardware wallet with their MetaMask, like a Trezor or a Ledger? Okay. So I want to touch on a couple things. I met with Pat Gelsinger, the new CEO of Intel. Right now, the U.S. government has granted over $53 billion to build U.S. fabrication, and I don't think you're going to hear about this on the news yet, but what's interesting is you will see on-chip integration of blockchain security. Our government did not give $53 billion to US-only based fabrication for silicon for no reason. I believe that they're building centralized server locations to host the US digital dollar. Crypto right now is a $1.3 trillion market cap. Once the US digital dollar gets deployed, which it will get deployed, there's a thing called TikTok, 24 months till fab on silicon. Once those centralized servers are in place, the government will use their US dollar token as the exit fiat, which means they can tax you easily, I believe. And then you're gonna see the floodgates open. My prediction, 5 years, $13 trillion market cap in crypto as a whole. I think it's hypercritical to understand though that things will be controlled centrally. I've been around for a long time, back in the late 90s, we started a lot of different tech things, and some of them are still here today. Did our first startup in '92 and survived through the big bubble that happened. And we're kind of sitting in that right now. I think you're going to see a lot of companies that have products that do well, but they're going to have to be hybridizing Web 2 to Web 3. I think that's a big thing. Right now, there are major credit card companies that control 99% of the credit card transactions that will be integrating DeFi into their wallets probably by Q3. Again, just from the wells, we know that this is going to happen, and we're part of a lot of that, which is kind of cool. So I believe a lot of the startups right now in the DeFi space that aggregate DeFi projects for the home gamers, for the normies, will be acquired for great amounts of money, but that brings control back to centralized organization. And that's inevitable, and yeah, some people are pissed off, like, Dan, why do you support that? Because I'm gonna make a ton of money doing that, and I like to teach my friends how to do that. I don't want to be too long-winded, but I want to give you a practical application just from theoretical ecosystem, macro environment stuff. So get your phones out and take note. I told you my friends had $300 million robbed on their wallets. 300 million. All of my friends use ledgers or Trezors, as well as hardware wallets and cold storage. How did they get robbed? Scott and I actually talked about this a lot. When you use your MetaMask and you sign a transaction in a DeFi project, or who here owns an NFT? Raise your hand. Anyone have an ape, right? So when you do that, you give an infinite approval to your wallet for the transaction token to participate in that. So, for example, USDC, I was hacked, lost $200,000 in 12 seconds. Luckily, it was a good week, and on some DJ stuff, made like $1.2 million in 3 days, right? But when I did the wallet scan of 50 whales, $100 million plus, the average whale had over 100 infinite token approvals that weren't revoked. Now, here's a crazy thing. I audited 4 friends who own large crypto exchanges, and most of these have a safe wallet, which they call cold storage, a warm and a hot wallet, and they all had 300 to 400 open exposures each. These are exchange CEOs who manage hundreds and hundreds of millions of dollars, billions of dollars.
I want you to just explain that for the normies. My mom's out there.
Yeah.
What's the equivalent of like leaving these open? What is the like Web 2 equivalent of, what are we talking about here?
This is like giving someone your ATM card.
Unlimited access to your credit card.
Yeah, your ATM card and your PIN
Charges
code.
for $1 billion anytime.
Yes. So really, once you've signed that transaction, 3 months later, 2 in the morning, they can take that money and they can wash it and fragment it into 10,000 wallets, and you'll never find your money again. Period. Story. Okay, so let me get to the punchline. How do you solve this problem for like the home gamer, the normie? Write this down. There's a thing called Rabbi, R-A-B-B-I, right? Now, Rabbi is a MetaMask type of equivalent, and I don't use it for everything, but it is really cool because it scans all ecosystems like Polygon, Ethereum, Binance, everything. And it shows you all your insecure token approvals until you pay a transaction and sign it, pay a gas fee to close all those doors. You are wide open. So if I audited all your wallets, I would believe that 99% of you are vulnerable to hacking and theft. And luckily, I'm a good guy, and my friends are good guys, but if we wanted to go on an onslaught, we could steal $5 billion in a week. I mean, it's not hard to do. So this is how exposed the public is. So my recommendation is research routing, research token approvals, make sure you close that down. If you're scared crapless, send all your money to a centralized exchange that you trust, like a Coinbase or a Crypto.com or whatever, and those aren't even guaranteed. Make sure you set up 2FA authentication, not by text message, because you can get SIM hacked. Again, if we were bad players, we could steal all your phone numbers in 5 seconds and have access. So that's really important. We were just talking in the lobby, don't get on public Wi-Fi, right? Because instantly, like your phone can auto-connect to Wi-Fi.
Why are you doing this right now? I gotta leave and like take care of business. It's freaking me out. I'm on the Wi-Fi. I've done nothing right. How do I stop? Like, go to the site right now?
I'm gonna get a lot of hate here. Do not do crypto transactions on your phone. Use an isolated laptop device that you don't take emails on or do anything but crypto. We have this fund, Ugly Unicorn Hedge Fund. We have isolated devices. We have a thing called MPC authentication, so all authentication happens off-chain, auto-revocation, auto-approvals, third-party audits, fourth-party audits. These are all important things that need to be in place. And if you're working with a centralized exchange or any project, you need to make sure that those things are in place, because otherwise they can get robbed, hence you get robbed. You guys were in with Coinbase, they said, Brian got in a little trouble for it. Got a lot of heat. He goes, man, if we end up going to bankruptcy, some of your assets could be exposed as collateral or something to that effect. So that's my tip. Please take this information. Now, if you want detailed information, shame